online crew. How are you today? So we're going to talk about today, you're not where you need to be right now because of something. Okay, and I'm going to share with you on this live what that something is. So it's really an important discussion and a great sort of realization as to what you might need to work on to get yourself where you want to go. Okay, so there's lots of things as to where you might not be where you want to be, but there is sort of one dominant thing that I want to share with you today. So I am hoping that those of you that are listening are where you want to be, but are there some of you here watching live or on the replay that you're not quite where you want to be? Like you've had a goal for the last 6 months or a year or something like that you thought you might be able to achieve by now, but you haven't. Like, who's in those shoes? Who thought they'd be further ahead in their business or whatever it is that you're doing? Who thought they'd be further ahead than where they are now? I'd love to know your thoughts on that. So that's what we're going to concentrate today. For those of you that I haven't met before, welcome to our online crew community. We're a community here of home-based business owners, direct sellers, network marketers, those in MLM. And if you're looking to build your business through the internet, through social media, and use modern online strategies, then you're in the right place. But my first video of the week, I always share something to do with personal development, personal growth, something to help you be a better version of you. Because when you're a better version of you, when you're happier, when you're nice to be around, when you're firing on all cylinders, guess what happens to your business? The same result. So if you're not firing on all cylinders, if you're not feeling your best, if you're not, you haven't got it all going on at the moment, there might be some reasons for that. And that's what we'll discuss today. Okay, so I'll get onto that in a second. So welcome. How are you all? Did you have a lovely weekend? Would love to know where you're watching from. So let me know in the comments, where are you watching from around the globe? Just a couple of quick things to share with you. If you want to know what's going on this week, if you go to, where is it? This link here. Every Monday night in my part of the world, which was yesterday for me, it's probably Monday night for a lot of you that are overseas to me, we update that with what's happening that coming week. So if you go to helenmartinonline.com/events, I know those of you on Instagram can't see that link on my other screen, but helenmartinonline.com/events, then you'll see all the links for what's coming up next this week. So we've got Clubhouse tomorrow where we're talking about, so it's actually a good extension to what I'm talking about today. It's the personal attributes that you need to be successful in network marketing, basically. So a really important discussion to listen to. So the link to that is on there. Those of you in my coaching community, I'm talking about how do you get more customers and ambassadors in the next 90 days? So how do you speed up that process? So I'm going to share with you some tips and strategies around that. Those of you that are actually in my network marketing team, just a reminder, under certain, there is a condition, but you get my coaching community for free for those of you that are in my network marketing company. So just a reminder that training is available to you. So you want to catch that later in the week, but everything is available to you from that link if you want to know what's coming up this week. Okay. So we'll just take that off there. So who have we got live? Just want to say a few hellos. We've got Heather, we've got Cheryl, we've got Celeste. Hope your back is feeling better. Thank you for asking, Heather. I was doing really well, and then I got in the car for too long on Saturday, and it's just sent me 10 steps backwards. So I'm really quite disappointed in that. We went on another long ride to the boys' tennis, and every bump in the car just shooting pain up my back again, and I went back to sort of not quite square one, but close to. So now I'm just trying to recover again. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I'm not where I want to be, but lesson learned, don't sit in a car for too long when you've got a bad back. Hey, Susan. Agree. My brain gets in the way from Celeste. Hello, Rashida. How are you? We've got Lena. I thought for sure things would be a lot further ahead by now from Susan. Thank you for asking as well, Susan. I just mentioned that one. Hello, Beth. Anyone that appears like that, I know you're from Canada. I know that much, but I'm just pulling up some comments from Facebook users here for those of you watching on Instagram. And that means you're watching from my group. So if you're watching from my group, you do need to click the StreamYard link so I can see you. That's not relevant anywhere else. It's not relevant on Instagram. It's not relevant on my business page. If you're watching from my business page, make sure you're following my page so you get notified when I go live. But if you're watching from my group and if you're watching from YouTube, make sure you can hit the subscribe button. But yeah, just click that link at the bottom of the description and then I'll be able to see who you are. Hello, Olive. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. Good to see you guys here. Okay, so I'm going to get into the content. What do you think is probably the biggest reason that you're not where you want to be? And there could be a number of answers to this. So nothing's, right or wrong. But what do you think is one of the main reasons that you're not as far ahead or making as much money as you would like to be, or like to have had by now? What do you think one of the main reasons for that is, like right now? I'd love to get your feedback on that. And I'm sure there's lots of different ideas that you could come up with. And obviously I'll share it with you in a moment, but what do you believe is one of your stumbling blocks? Like, admit it, put it in the comments section. What do you believe holds you back? What do you think is one of the main reasons that holds you back? And you're not the 6-figure earner. You're not the 7-figure earner yet, but you thought by now, some of you have been in this industry for years and you're still not one of those, a 6 or a 7-figure earner. So what's the deal? What's the main stumbling block do you think it is for you? So let me know in the comments section. A cool new look. Oh, do you mean the little thing here? So yeah, it just little sign there welcoming people to our community there, letting you know that you're watching a live. Sorry, I always forget. So I'm not sure who that is, but you can also do it after the live. Just go back to the description in the live and do it then. That's cool. Not putting in the work. So what do you think one of the reasons is, Heather, that people don't put in the work? Not being consistent. So not putting in the work, obviously, that's a good one. Okay. Not being consistent. Absolutely. If you disappear, so does your audience. If you disappear, so does your engagement. If you disappear, your algorithm just bottoms out. So if you're not consistent, it's going to be one of the main reasons that, you're not where you want to be. But what causes that? So what causes people not to put in the work? What causes people not to be consistent? What's the reason behind those reasons? What are your thoughts? Not talking to enough people, true. Losing focus on what I should be doing daily, true. Distractions, true. And what leads to all of that? Like, what's behind all of these things that you can think of? Nerves, yeah. Brain and hesitation, yeah. And when you hesitate, your brain goes, don't do it, Celeste. I want to keep you safe. I don't want to keep you uncomfortable. So if it feels uncomfortable, let's not do it. And then so you don't do it. So there's all of that. Not having enough conversation. Yes, but why aren't you having enough conversations? These are all good reasons. But what are the reasons that you're not doing all of these things that you're mentioning? Overwhelmed and procrastination, most definitely. But what causes that? Okay. Some people might not have the belief. Now we're getting closer. Okay. They don't believe they can do it. And what happens when you don't believe that you can actually do it? You won't. Or this came up in, I think it was the video challenge. No, actually, it might have been just one of my lives. Someone was saying, I can't understand because I get a level of success, but I don't hang on to it. Or I back off once I've had a level of success. You know what that is? It can be two things. One is just generally you can let the foot off the pedal once it's like, oh, I'm there. I don't need to do it anymore, but you need to get there and continue to do it. The other one is the possibility. I'm not saying this is what it is, but self-sabotage can come into success. Have you ever felt that before? Or have you ever experienced that in your business where you've actually had a level of success, but you can't maintain it? Like you haven't gone back to it. You haven't kept up the same level of activity and things like that. That could be subconsciously self-sabotage because of the belief that you don't believe you can actually be, that successful. Sorry, Instagram, something's happening with my lighting there, but you can still hear me. So there's things like that. So lack of self-belief, yep, same thing. Fear, yes. Life interests me. So does life interest you more than your business? Is that what you're saying? Not being focused, that's all a part of it. Mindset, not seeing the vision or believing the vision. So what does that come down to for you? If you can't see that, you can't believe the vision, you can't believe that you're going to be wealthy, you can't believe that you're going to be successful, you can't see yourself at that certain rank, you can't see yourself getting all these customers, what does that come down to? Go a layer deeper, because this is kind of what you need to fix. Self-doubt, not prioritizing important stuff first, not consistent. Yep, so this is all important. Fear or lack of confidence, pretty much. I do well, then second guess myself. So that's probably deep down a lack of belief. Self-love. Okay, we're getting closer. Limiting beliefs, all those things. Who's your biggest cheerleader? Are you your biggest cheerleader? Or have you got mentors in your corner that cheer more for you than you cheer for yourself? Be honest. Answer that in the comments. Do you have people around you? Do any of you have like a mentor or mentors around you that perhaps believe in you more than you believe in yourself? Would that be sort of a fair comment? Let me know what your thoughts are around that. Who is your biggest cheerleader? Name them. Is it a husband, a wife, a daughter, a mentor? Like, just have a think about that. Who's always sort of cheering you on? And, right behind you with enthusiasm, and you've got this, and you're going to be successful no matter what. And that belief is like, there's just no way you're not going to succeed if you put the effort in, and this and that, and all the practical things that you said. Mentors cheer louder for me, from Susan. Lena, my husband cheers more on me than perhaps yourself. Well, never thought of that. Very true, my husband. So for those of you that have those husbands, that's amazing, because there's a lot of people that don't have that. There's a lot of people that hide this business from their partners because they don't like it, or they don't agree with it, or you've spent a lot of money on it and it hasn't worked out yet for a reason that I'm going to mention today. So, if you've got a supportive husband, that's amazing. He believes more than I do myself. There you go. Mentors and business partners. But I'm speaking up for myself now. I'm cheering myself on every day now. This is the new me. Very interesting. Somebody might be growing in their journey as they're going along, Miss Laurie. My husband and my upline. Me. We should be cheering ourselves on, having the best relationships with ourselves. I'm my own biggest cheerleader, enough to be brutal about your consistency, Cheryl, brutal about showing up, brutal about getting things done, brutal about your DMO. That enough of a cheerleader? Answer me that. Others cheer for me more. I feel selfish if I cheer for myself, even though I know I need to cheer for myself. I also have an amazing mentor. Thank you, Cheryl. Corey is definitely a big cheerleader. Well, that's good. I have a husband and a mum. Awesome. So it's good to have people cheering on. But if you're going to be ridiculously successful, and some of you don't want to be ridiculously successful, so don't take that out of context. But if you want to have a higher level of success, if you want to earn more money, if you want to get more results in your business, who needs to be your biggest cheerleader? Say it. Write it. Put it down in the comments. Who needs to be your biggest cheerleader to get you where you want to go? I want to see some of you say it. Yes, Christina. Yes, Susan. Yes, Beth. Are you your biggest cheerleader, or are you one of those people? And this is normal, so don't feel bad about this. Do you have that little voice in your head that is always doubting what you can do? Is it always doubting whether this is going to work? Are you always doubting whether you can do it? Whether, I don't know if I can be successful. I don't know if I can get more teammates. I don't know if I can get more customers. Nothing's working. You go another month, you didn't rank, you didn't get any new customers. The doubt just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. If you are not your biggest cheerleader, good times and bad, it's going to be very hard for you to get where you want to go. You have to back yourself like 100% of the time, good times and bad. And you have to motivate yourself. You have to have the consistency. You have to build the belief. If you've got the voice that is a self-doubt, self-sabotage, not sure, it's going to be really hard for you to get where you want to go, because what you concentrate more of, you will get more of. So if you've got more doubt, then you have belief in yourself and cheering yourself on that you can do this, and you can get, 5 figures a month, and you can become a 6-7 figure earner. The harsh reality is you won't. You won't get there unless you're your biggest cheerleader. So the weird thing about this industry is, and I say this pretty much every week, especially when I do this video in the week that's something to do with personal development, personal growth, is the better the person you become, the more money you make. How switched on are the leaders in your companies, the really, really wealthy ones? Are they just, they back themselves, they're in there, they're consistent, they're doing all the things that you mentioned earlier, but they've just got it going on, and they are confident in themselves, and they're their biggest cheerleader, and they bring other people along with them. This is why I love Mel Robbins' new book so much. That, when you touch the mirror in the morning and just say, you've got this. So instead of waking up in the morning and looking at yourself in the mirror and going, I don't like what I see, I'll look at the love handles, look at my skin, whatever it is that you tell yourself that you don't like about yourself, you touch that mirror and you go, you got this. And what surprised me really about that book is the chemical reactions it does in your brain to set your day up for, you've got this, you can do this. And then you actually go and concentrate on the things that you want to actually go and do, because you back yourself. You're your biggest cheerleader. Like Laurie said before, I'm learning. She's got people around her that cheer her on, but she's saying, I'm learning to be my own cheerleader, or whatever Laurie said before. It's because I know she's read that book twice, and she's changing her habits and her thought habits. So what you need to get to the crux of is, how do you talk to yourself? What do you really think is possible for you? Do you really think, some of you will tell me, but I don't believe you, when you say, yeah, I'm going to be a 6-figure earner. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get to this rank next month. And I look at your comp plan and I go, whoo, that's a lot of volume. That probably means talking to thousands of people in the next 3 weeks to get to that rank. Like, some of you you're not planning out where you want to go and what's actually physically required to get where you want to go. But not only that, having the belief, I can do this no matter what. And when people are putting you down, when people are saying no, when you're getting a little bit defeated because you didn't, reach what you wanted to reach for that month, it doesn't matter. You're backing yourself, and it's like, okay, it's not necessarily what I wanted to be by the end of, at this point in time, November. Maybe you haven't achieved what you want to achieve for this month. Everything is a lesson, not a failure. It's like, okay, what's the reason that I didn't achieve what I wanted to this month? Well, if you really look in the mirror, did you apply yourself? Did you send enough messages? Did you, whatever activity you're doing in your daily method of operation, or did days go by and you didn't do anything for your business and now you're disappointed you didn't get the results you wanted for November, but you were busy because you looked at lots of training and you did this and you did that, and I'm busy, but how much more money is in your bank account? Okay, you've really got to learn to back yourself and be your biggest cheerleader, no one else. You want people in your corner that are there to lift you up. You want people in your corner that are there to learn from, mentors. And like, having mentors around you is just a non-negotiable. as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't have gone as far as I have and created 11 different income streams in the last, few years if I didn't invest a shitload of money, to be honest with you, in mentors. No way. I came from corporate. I was a general manager. What the hell did I know about social media or attraction marketing or let alone doing live videos? And now, like, I've been running live video challenges for 2 years straight. Was it 3 years? 3 years or 2 years? I can't remember. Just lost a year. It happens when you get old. You got a sore back, you forget things. But you know where I'm coming from. So, who is here listening to this live that knows you've got more work to do on yourself to build up being your biggest cheerleader? You should let things bounce off you. When somebody says something negative, it doesn't matter. It hits and it goes, you just bounce it off because you're your biggest cheerleader and you believe in yourself. I was listening to a really successful leader in this industry, earns over $1 million a month. And he was saying that when he first started his career and he was mainly doing friends and family, is, they got the typical, what are you doing that for? That's network marketing. That's a pyramid scheme, all that kind of crap that we're used to hearing. And he was like, I don't care what you say. This is residual income. This is a huge opportunity to earn a lot of income every month. You can't get financial opportunities that you can with this industry, but it doesn't happen on its own. You've got to be your biggest cheerleader, fight through the fear, fight through the doubts, and just get the job done. When you're your biggest cheerleader, you will be consistent. You will do the work. You will learn what you need to learn, but then you'll put it into action. You won't just keep learning, and not actually doing anything. I'm sure there's many of you listening to this live that can relate to that. Learning, but I'm actually not doing much with it. I don't have a consistent DMO, those kind of things. If you criticize yourself a lot, your business will not grow. Absorb that for a second. If you criticize yourself a lot, if you've got that little voice that goes, I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm not sure if this is for me. I'm not sure if this industry is for me. I hear that a lot. It's just because you don't back yourself. If you back yourself and you have confidence to do what it takes, anybody can do anything as long as you back yourself. If it's like, well, this industry isn't for me, it's like, no. That's all you. The industry does work. We know it works, but it works for those that outwork others. Does that make sense? So, but that takes sacrifices. Are you willing? Are you willing to sacrifice time? Are you willing to sacrifice money? Are you willing to sacrifice social engagements for this business? What I love about it is, it's tough, particularly in the beginning. It's very tough to get to like a reasonable rank in a network marketing business. But once you're secure and you've got a solid team, nothing's ever guaranteed, but then that income is coming in every month and it can just grow and grow and grow. And wouldn't you rather work your butt off for 5 to 10 years, knowing that you're financially secure handsomely for the rest of your life? If you stay, nothing happens to the company or your team or things like that. Like, wouldn't you rather work hard now and back yourself and go, no, I can do it, and work really hard to secure some residual income potentially for the rest of your life, which just continues to grow, than working, every day, time versus money. And when you finish the job, the income stops. Like, what's a better business model? So what I recommend you do when you're struggling with this a little bit and how to back yourself is think bigger than your little voice. So when the little voice comes in, just like, okay, thank you, voice, for the doubt that just creeped in, but think higher, think of your vision. Think of, what you're actually striving for. If you've got a team, think about your team. Like, just take it up a notch or two as to the bigger picture of what you're doing and not be in the moment. I spoke to you last week about one of the reasons why you're not doing the things that you need to do is because emotion comes in the way. And I'm feeling that the last 2 weeks. What I've noticed, and it's really cool when you're aware. It doesn't make anything wrong, but it's really cool when you're aware of these things. I've been very aware of the fact, because I feel like crap. Okay. My back is sore. I've had a headache for 4 days now. Like, I just don't feel physically good. I'm still here. I will never not show up for my audience unless, there's something seriously wrong. I'm still, whether I'm alive here talking to you or I'm sitting at the end of my kitchen table, I've still got back pain and a headache. What's the difference? So I still show up. But what I've noticed is things that don't matter so much, like I'm really not posting anything in my stories at the moment because I find it hard to smile in my thing and take a funny selfie. So I've noticed my stories have really backed off because I don't feel good. So be very aware of that. How you physically feel will dictate your activity. Now, I've got people that rely on me. I've got you guys and I care about you. I've got my coaching community. I've got my branding course. I've got my VIPs. I've got lots of things where people rely on me. And a team, we're doing a lot in our team. And we're going to kick ass the next 90 days. And those of you in my coaching community, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about that later in the week. But when you don't think bigger, it's like, no, these people rely on me. I'm still showing up, whatever. Unless you think bigger than your own feeling, if you're feeling crap, you won't do the action. That's one of the reasons why we don't do what we want to do. I'm not going to repeat any of that. Go back to this video last week. Go back and watch that video. And then my last video last week, I actually gave you some tips to overcome it. So does this all make sense, guys? There's no easy fix to being your biggest cheerleader. It takes time and it takes energy and it takes work. But if I can give you one little tip, without even reading the book, look at yourself in the mirror first thing in the morning and tell yourself, you've got this. Start your day with a really positive chemical reaction in your brain it's a positive, even affirmation, if you like. You've got this. Okay, just start with that, if nothing else. Okay, just any other comments, guys? Definitely not brutal enough for myself. So you don't need to be brutal, but you need to cheer yourself on enough to do the things that you don't want to do. And just make sure you're consistent every day. So when you really back yourself, you will be consistent. You will get things done. You're your biggest cheerleader, and you don't get affected by the negativity and all that kind of stuff. Okay, me. Awesome. I've turned the volume on the doubting voice, but sometimes he's still there. I think you've turned the volume down. Do you mean on the doubting voice? But sometimes he's still there. And I just want to get something really clear with that. You can never do enough personal development to never have doubt. You will never get to the point where you don't doubt yourself with certain things. What point you do get to, and this is what I've learned to do, is you're really, really aware. When you're aware, you can flick the switch really easily. So I know when I'm feeling doubt. I know when I'm feeling perhaps not positive about something I'm doing or creating or whatever. I'm it's very, quickly I've worked out, oh, you're not really putting anything in stories at the moment, Helen, because I just don't feel like it. So if you just don't feel like it, you won't do it. So I'm very aware. So you build your awareness. When you build your awareness, then you can change it. So just learn to flick the switch quickly. You'll always have things in your lives that get you down, get you upset, piss you off, those kind of things, but just flick the switch really quickly. It's like, okay, like last night, something really pissed me off. I even got in Messenger and somebody who knew about that situation, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. There's my rant. Now I'm going to get over it and move on. And I did. About 10 minutes later, I'd already moved on. It's like, okay, I need to find another solution for this because I can't do that because this has happened and, whatever. So I vented to somebody who knew what was happening with that situation, and I've moved on. Like, you just learn to flick the switch. So, Christina, it's not wrong to have a doubting voice. Just say, thank you for your kind words, doubting voice. Piss off. Does that make sense? Down the volume. Okay. So Brittany said today that one day a week, we are the boss of your schedules. The other days of the week when you're working, our schedule is the boss. Would your schedule fire you or give you a raise? I love that. You've always got to be in control. And some of you do need to fire yourself. You need to give yourself the boot and become your biggest cheerleader. That's right, Susan. I say that quite often. Nobody's coming to save you. A mentor can't save you. A teammates can't save you. Stop looking for other people to be the answer or the next training thing, or paying for the latest, training that's come out. That won't save you. I do shake shit off. Yeah, basically. I am my biggest cheerleader. No matter, I will be successful. And I get those comments, but if you are where you want to be, that's valid. If you're not quite where you are, is there anything missing that you can work more on? Actions speak louder than words. Let me put it that way. And I'm not talking to you specifically, Yvette, just, generally. Okay. That's a good comment. I'll get off in a second, guys. I know I've talked too long. Try to give yourself a high five and frown. It just doesn't happen. And that's the psychology that kind of happens in the brain when you high five yourself and you just go, I got this, in the mirror in the morning. Laurie said, I've tried that and ended up laughing at myself. It can't be done. That's me this week, defeated. You're only defeated if you tell yourself you're defeated. So let that last about 5 seconds, Anne-Marie, and then pick yourself up and move on. Be your biggest cheerleader and say, well, whatever didn't work out or, something defeated you. And it's like you're back on it because you're your biggest cheerleader. And whatever it is, you're not going to let get you down. Okay? I have lots of work to do. Honestly, Lena, everybody does, including myself. That everyone's got something to work on, put it that way. Brittany, I'm growing in this area. I used to panic when I got a rude message or a comment, but it is mattering to me less and less. That's where we learn to bounce. Don't care. I'm my biggest cheerleader. I'm going to be successful with or without you, with or without your support. Bring on the negative comments. If you're getting negative comments, you've made it. That's what we say on social media. Good publicity or bad publicity, and I've had it all. You're attracting attention of people, so you know that it's working. Okay. That's correct, Beth. We can always improve and grow. I don't think the growth should stop. Is it Jim Rowan? No, who was it? I don't think it was Jim. Somebody, famous quote, when you stop learning, you start dying. So there is never a time where you should stop learning or growing. But when it comes to this industry, you can overlearn. You can start looking for the shiny object because this didn't work or this is not working on social media, because it often takes a lot longer than you think it does on social media to grow an audience, to get influence over that audience. You got to put the hard yards in to achieve that. And I've forgotten the rest of what I was going to say. But anyway, I'll catch up with the rest of your comments shortly. I've talked long enough. I just get really mindful of not talking for too long to keep you here. So I hope that just makes you think. When I do these videos, and my first video of the week, it's always to give you something to think about, to help you be a better version of you, because no one is coming to save you. No mentor or any other person can make you successful. And if you've got it, if you back yourself, if you're your biggest cheerleader, you'll just get the job done. If you're a complainer, you cause waves. You're the first one in a team chat to go, oh, the shipping cart's not working. Oh, where's the products or whatever? That is not a good leader. So, just, work on yourself. I'll leave it at that. Okay. So hopefully I'll see you, some of you on Clubhouse tomorrow. And coaching community members, remember I'm going through how can you recruit more customers and ambassadors in the next 90 days? So don't forget about that training and everything else that I've got going on this week, which is from, if you want to check that out, it's on that link. Every week we update that link with what's going on where in my communities. Okay. Oh, and branding course people, group 25. We've got our last live Zoom call this week as well. So I'll see you guys in a couple of days. Okay. I'll catch you tomorrow, normal time, for another live.